Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is June 20th, 2022, and this is the weekly live stream. I'm moving it up a little bit just because tomorrow I have something to do, something very important to do, so I won't be able to do it at the regularly scheduled time. All right. Today I'd like to discuss all things Litecoin and Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum and Litecoin, Litecoin and Ethereum. I want to talk the original altcoins. Okay, and there's a reason for this, and I'm going to get into it. But first, let me just double check that the stream is okay. Give me a second here. Here we go. All right. Perfect. Here we go. Please like the stream if you manage to come on live. Okay, please like the stream and shout your name out. Just let me know if when you're here, if you're here, right? So I know who I'm talking to, if I'm talking to anybody. And yeah, definitely ask questions, interact if you like. So first, I'd like to just give a quick glance at Bitcoin and what Bitcoin's doing, okay? Before getting into the subject matter, I think it's okay to just have a quick look at Bitcoin. Let's go on the 4-hourly time frame. Looks like we're still up against this resistance right here. We've been hovering here for quite some time. I do think we are going to pop out. Okay, looks to me like this is some sort of ABC. I would not be surprised if we did get a move up like so. Let's go into, wouldn't be surprised if we got something like this, right? Right at abutting this resistance right here, okay, for our initial break of structure. Again, I discussed this morning. You need to put in a reversal pattern, okay? If this indeed is the bottom, you need to put in a reversal pattern. You can't just start going up into the moon, right? We're going to need Bitcoin to do something like this before really running, okay? And like I said this morning, I wouldn't be surprised if all of this took, 20 to 30 days, just like it takes, just like it's taken in other assets, right? And this morning I also compared this to what I compared it to, synthetics. Okay, I compared it to synthetics, and I said synthetics was creating a reversal pattern because much like Bitcoin, it had put in 5 waves to the bottom, and so I anticipate the initial break of structure is going to test wave 4 of the previous trend, which it did, and it stopped right there, okay? So you see, you're testing wave 4 of the previous trend with that initial break of structure. Expect some sort of consolidation of some sort, a retest of this level. I'm supposing that this is a flat correction. Okay, obviously it can be a zigzag, it could be a triangle. We know that corrective waves come in different flavors, but I think it's going to be a flat correction only because of the intensity of this wave right here, and just giving people, sellers, an opportunity to sell, and buyers an opportunity to buy at these levels right here. So I wouldn't be surprised if in synthetics we put in something like this, right? Just a garden variety reversal pattern before going up and out. And nothing really moved today. Reserve rights was the closest in my watch list that moved a bit. Okay, reserve rights moved up from this consolidation, this pivot all the way up here. But once again, we're at resistance. We're abutting major resistances, okay? And so once this is broken, these major resistances are broken, I anticipate big moves with big volume. That's when I think the fireworks are going to come in. And each and every one of these assets is at resistance, testing resistance, okay? Dodo less so, but you know, it's getting there. Telcoin, yeah, it's at the resistance of this pivot, right? Kadena, same thing, resistance of the pivot. Ravane is still kind of getting ready to Ravane is still getting ready to resume the trend, the uptrend, okay? Because it was the first in my watch list that had broken this consolidation, right? For the reversal wave, the consolidation of the reversal wave, or of the reversal pattern, right? It broke the consolidation, retested, is getting ready to go back. So that's what I'm seeing in Ravane. But today we're going to talk all things Ethereum and Litecoin. One of the reasons I want to talk about Ethereum and Litecoin, although I haven't been trading Ethereum, all right, and this is on purpose. I haven't traded Ethereum, and I don't really like trading Litecoin, and there's also a reason for that, and I'm going to get into that. But one of the reasons I think it's useful to look at Ethereum and Litecoin is because, they're some of the oldest altcoins that we have in cryptocurrency, and as chartists, it's useful to look at assets with actual trading history, where we can pull up charts and actually see patterns forming, right? Obviously, we look at Bitcoin and we use Bitcoin as a proxy for every other market, right? But it's also useful to look at charts that are not Bitcoin that also have significant price history, relatively significant price history, right? Going back maybe 2014, like Litecoin, and Ethereum, I think it's 2014 as well. But going back earlier than most of your altcoins, most other altcoins, so that you can see trends and perhaps maybe make some sort of cross analysis of the cryptocurrency markets using those charts. So that's why I want to have a look at Litecoin and Ethereum. I actually also, full disclosure, did enter a Litecoin position, a Litecoin long, but still I think it's useful to have a look at these assets. All right. So if nobody has any, hey Steve, I think I'm going to start with Litecoin because I think it's the least of how do I say this? Litecoin for me at this point is less confusing. Okay, I do have some questions about my reads on the Ethereum chart, and I guess it's best to leave that till the end. Let me start with Litecoin. I think Litecoin is fairly straightforward. Okay, if there's such a thing in charting, and wave mapping. Okay, but I look at this chart. This is the oldest chart of Litecoin that I could find. Okay, and I've got it going from May 2013 up until present day. This is the Binance against US. This is the Binance chart, Litecoin against US dollars, compiled by TradingView. All right. So the first thing of note in this chart is this right here. It's a super strong move. It's a big wick on the weekly time frame. Okay, I dropped down to the daily time frame to see if there are any changes, right? To see if I have any sort of, I don't know, price action, and it's still a huge wick on the daily. I don't know if this is unique to Binance, but I couldn't find an older chart of Litecoin. Even if I go to the Bitstamp, usually Bitstamp has some old charts, these whales in Bitstamp have old charts. I already checked Coinbase. Let me check Bitfinex. I don't think I've checked Bitfinex. Bitfinex doesn't look like I have a chart of Bitfinex. It just looks like I have futures, or I have what do you call it? Perpetuals for Bitfinex. Bitstamp, yeah, that's the oldest one. The other oldest one. Oh yeah, here we go. Bitfinex. There we go. All right, let's try that. I just want to see if that wick is present, because it is significant. So let's go on the monthly chart. So yeah, that's one of the first things I like to do. Just try and find the oldest chart. Obviously, you want the most data, and then you try and make sense of anomalies, because that big wick is anomalous. Yeah. And so I look at Bitfinex. I do have some big wicks, but it's not, I don't think it's the same. Yeah. So this one goes all the way back to June 2013. That one also goes back to 2013, and it is without the wick. Okay, so I can confirm that. Yeah, the wick is gone in Bitfinex. It's in Binance. So that's crazy. If you were trading Litecoin in 2013 on Binance, like, you might have gotten smoked by a ridiculous market. What the hell was that? Market buy, market sell. It's probably a market buy. Yeah, it's probably a market buy at this level. But so I'm not going to look at this chart, because that just throws a lot of things off on the analysis. So let's just get rid of that. Okay, let's stick with the Bitfinex chart. Okay, this I like a little more. Okay, and I think it's a lot easier to read, actually. So I have here, I'm going to, do I ignore this? No, I don't ignore this. I think that this is important, but for me, just let's jump down to the weekly chart. Okay, still same difference. I'm seeing this as a first wave, okay? And then clearly some sort of flat correction, right? Some sort of flat correction right here. Is it some sort of flat correction? No, it's a zigzag. That's what it is. It's a first wave, a zigzag down to close to the 618, okay, and then a resumption of the trend, okay? So that's what I'm saying. If you want to make sense of these, sometimes you gotta switch and see what chart makes most sense. So I'm just gonna pull out my impulse tool, and I'm gonna start from the bottom, and I'm going to say that this is 1 right here, okay, this is 2, okay, and then I'm going to assume that this all is 3, something in cycle 3. I'm not going to say it's the end, or it's just it's in cycle 3, okay? So let's go back to the monthly chart, and I'm just going to move this up and out of the way, okay? Because I do not believe that the third wave, the third cycle wave, is even close to complete, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Fibonacci extension tool, okay, and I'm going to just project an assumptive wave 3. And I usually do that at the 1618. We all know, using Fibonacci ratios, that the third wave typically ends at the 1618 extension of wave 1, but it can end as early as the wave, the 1 Fibonacci extension. So that may be a wave 3, okay? That is a plausible wave 3, okay? And if that's the case, and so this makes this interesting. Let's just say, okay, that is because, and what strengthens that case is the following. 1 second. What strengthens that case is the following. Once you get, and I'm just going to move this over, right? No, I'm going to keep that right there. I'm going to keep that right there. Okay. So what makes this more compelling is that I see clearly 5 waves, 5 intermediate waves, okay? And I'm going to change the, I don't know if I've ever done a full-on, full life cycle analysis on stream. So, you know, hope this is helpful and hope this is useful. I'm going to show you in a second what I do. And, oh, yeah, obviously I haven't done this because Bitcoins is complicated enough that I'd have to do it on my own time and then show you, or else, you know, I'd be going through a lot of, you know, it would be tough to work through live, okay? But this is simple enough, and I don't think there are many other assets with as much price history to even do all of this. So, yeah, I don't think I have. Anyway, I think that this is clearly a 5-wave move right here, okay? And obviously, I just counted cycles, so I'm going to go and drop down to primary. You see how that works? You just change it. You go, you know, when you talk counting waves, you want to distinguish your different degrees. So that would be primary, and just to help not get confused, I usually just change the color, okay? So, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this down a little bit, okay, just so I can see clearly. So I would say this right here is the full cycle 3, okay? It can be the full cycle 3. It doesn't have to be, okay? I don't know that. I'm going to acknowledge what I don't know. I'm going to acknowledge what I don't know, but I'm going to assume that it is because it reached a minimum 1 Fibonacci extension. And I don't think, and I'm going to tell you in a second why, that assumption isn't dangerous, okay? Sometimes you can make dangerous assumptions when counting waves. That's not a dangerous assumption because the overall trend remains to the upside, okay? We're not yet at a point where, even if I had made the assumption that this wasn't the full cycle 3, that we'd be getting ready to turn around. Now, when we continue and we get into wave 5 or continue what may be a continuation of cycle 3, then I'll have to revisit this and say, okay, when is this larger trend over? So that's the important part. And this is very useful. Remember this exercise when we're looking at Ethereum. This is exactly what is giving me trouble in the Ethereum read. Hey, Osman. So yeah, I'm comfortable at this point saying that this is cycle 3 in Litecoin, okay? And this right here that you see is, for me, a quintessential wave 4 correction, okay? This is beautiful. Look at this. And in Elliott wave theory, we talk about the law of alternation, okay? It's not all the time, not 100% of the time. And some people say that it's like 61.8% of the time you do have alternation. And what is alternation? Alternation is when you have a simple or sharp, well, let's see. You have a simple correction in wave 2, which leads to a complex correction in wave 4, or vice versa. Or you can say sometimes one of the waves is a sharp correction, and then one of the waves is a flat. Do you see what I mean? So I said that this was likely in wave 2 some sort of sorry, 1 second. I'm looking at it. I'm thinking. So yeah, this was likely some sort of complex correction actually here, because if you look at it, you did this. You put a zigzag in W. Okay, remember, W can be a flat or a zigzag. Okay, so a zigzag in W, then an X wave, and then a 5 waves in Y. So you have a WXY here, which is a complex correction. This is not a simple correction, because here, this is clearly a zigzag. And for those of you who aren't versed in Elliott wave theory, a zigzag is basically a 5, 3, 5 structure, where you have 5 waves in W, you have 3 waves in X, okay, and then you have 5 waves in Y, okay. That's a zigzag. And I'm like, I don't need a drop down in time frames. I can see that in the larger time frame. I hope you can see it too. Let's just see if we can't see it on the smaller time frames. Let's go into daily, just since we're looking at it together. I don't want to confuse anybody. Let's see if we can't see it more clearly, but I can see it on the higher time frame. It's hard to see even on the smaller time frame, see? But there's only one way that you can get away with any correction looking like this. Basically starting out, you can't even see it. It's right here. It's hard to see on the smaller time frames. Let's go back into the larger time frames. Here, I think it's easiest to see on the weekly. Do you guys see that? You're basically going like this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, it's a 1 leg, 2 legs, 3 legs, and both legs are more or less equidistant from the center. So it's like a 1-to-1 of the W and the Y. That's clearly a zigzag. If you've seen it enough, you know that for sure. Okay, and so that is your first leg. Here, let's just do it together right here. Let's put it in. That's, for me, clearly a WXY. Okay, so that's your complex correction. For me, that's what I see. I don't have too much doubt about that. We got a complex correction in 2. So by the law of alternation, it's likely, it's not definite, but it's likely that wave 4 is a simple correction. And indeed, wave 4 looks like a simple correction, because if I'm looking at wave 4 right here, I see a simple ABC flat correction. Who else sees that, right? Could be a WXY as well, but I see an ABC flat correction with that funky ending diagonal. Okay, I just see A right here, 1, 2, 3, B, right? 3 waves in B, pivot, and then your ending diagonal right there, WXY. Okay, and so let's see in terms of time if everything checks out. So it took 357 days for A, okay, of this flat correction, and it took, do we add the pivot? I guess we add the pivot, yeah? And it would go right here. 378 days, right? 371 days, because that is the end of the correction right here. I'm zooming in. Okay, right here. Okay, so basically, I'm seeing in terms of proportionality, and I talked about this morning, if it's a regular flat correction, you're looking for some proportionality, so some equanimity, if you will, in the A wave and the C wave. And I'm adding the pivot as part of the C wave in terms of sort of measuring the time taken, right? Sometimes you're looking for proportions in price, and sometimes you can look also for proportions in time, and that's something I'm looking to add to my bag in terms of my skills in analysis. So I've been doing a lot of research on that. So anyway, this to me seems like a likely candidate for wave 4. The cool thing about this, the really cool thing about this is that you got a truncated wave 3, okay? You literally got a wave 3 as small as a wave 3 as you can possibly imagine. And your entire wave structure, your advance, as Ralph Nelson Elliott would call it, up until now has been very concerted. Basically, you're building up buying pressure. You don't have, in the time that you've been trading since June 2013 until 2022, you've traded in a relatively small range, which has made the asset Litecoin pretty easy to buy, in terms of like price. The price hasn't moved too much in this time. Yeah, it looks like a lot in terms of percentage, but it's actually been ranging quite a bit, especially in this wave 4 correction. Okay? And another thing I've learned, and we'll put this to the test, Prechter, Robert Prechter, one of the sort of Elliott wave gurus, okay, if you will. He writes his book, his manual on Elliott wave theory. It's kind of like the book to go to. I think it's a bit long-winded for my taste, but it's still a great resource. In Prechter, it says that the time taken from wave 1 to 3 is the same time that should be taken for wave 3 to 5. Okay? So the time taken from wave 1 to 3 is the same time taken from wave 1 to 5. Okay? I have back-tested that, and I haven't necessarily found that to be accurate. But I'm just saying that, Prechter says that, and, he says he's pretty authoritative. Okay? And if I just measure 1 to 3, I see 1,645 days. I measure wave 4. That took, so far, 1,645 days. Like, I mean, I promise you, I did not even... Wait, let me just double check that's what it was. That's what was said. But I promise you, I didn't look at that before. But that's crazy. That's uncanny. Let's see. That is crazy. Hey JY, what's up? I'm gonna look really quickly at what Prechter says about that. Let's see. Time Elliott wave. Oh man. Let me see if I can't find it. I don't remember where I saw it. I'm just gonna check that really quickly, guys, because that is crazy to me. Did you see that? So from the beginning of Litecoin to the end of what I think is wave 3 is like 1645, or let's just say 1650, something like that, okay? And wave 4 in totality has taken around the same time. That's crazy to me. Let's see. I'm just gonna check, because I know I have it here somewhere on my phone. Let me see. I'm trying to get this, the time relationships. It's not perfect, but I'm trying to add that to my understanding of chart patterns. Let's see. My history. Here we go. Here we go. So it says that, so Prechter says that the time to complete waves 1 through 3 equals the time to complete the end of 3 to the end of 5. Yeah, I got it right, okay? So basically, according to Prechter, this next wave is going to be so fast and furious, it's going to blow our minds. Because once again, I'm going to do this again. The time, if this analysis is correct, okay, and this is indeed the time it took, it's been 1,645 days from wave 1 through 3 of Litecoin's trading, okay? And thus far, Litecoin has been really boring, and people have been calling it a shitcoin because it's been in a flat correction, basically ranging up and down. And that has taken all of 1,645 days. So if there is something to that, right, this fifth wave should be massively quick. And there's also good analysis, or good theory to state that if this when you see some sort of diagonal, a diagonal, which this would be, right, because you have a truncated wave 3, it's a kind of diagonal, right? Your fifth wave is basically really fast, really furious, and it basically means that the price is really, buying pressure is really concentrated. So all that to say is, I would not be surprised if Litecoin just ran. And it's so funny because, again, you know that Litecoin has a reputation, and it's had a reputation for some time, specifically after 2017, for being a shitcoin because it hasn't done anything. It has, suboptimal price action. It's just not impressive, right? And it's the butt of a lot of jokes. None of us really want to trade it because it's been stuck in this correction, going up and down and not really doing anything. So I actually recently got in a small leveraged trade of Litecoin, just to see. It's not much, and because I thought, we were at a macro and micro bottom. So I'm just going to see, maybe this is a really good trade. Not just a trade for the short term, but maybe it's a nice long-term trade, okay? And last but not least, because cycle wave 3 is truncated, it's likely that wave 5 is extended, okay? So you got a regular wave 1, regular wave 2, truncated wave 3, which retraced to, if you take the bottom of wave 2 and the top of wave 3, look at that. Perfect 382 retracement. You see that? And what do we know about wave 4 in a regular 53535 extension is that it's the maximum retracement for wave 4 is 382, right? And that's kind of what you got here. So this is not a diagonal, but it's a truncated kind of concerted impulse where the buying pressure is sort of coiling for a massive breakout, okay? And that breakout is likely to happen now, right? Once we get that breakout eventually, you can anticipate for, instead of your typical sort of 618 extension, right? How do you project wave 5? You would do so by taking the length of wave 3, retracement of wave 4, and you typically extend wave 5 to the 618. But because wave 3 was concerted, you can start looking at the 1618. And 1618 is a typical extension for an extended wave 5. Obviously, that can go to 2618, 236, 2236, 2, whatever, but 1618 is typically where you want to target extended waves, extended wave 5s. So yeah, that's Litecoin. This is what excites me about Litecoin. And again, everything happens in cycles. So Litecoin's been the butt of a lot of jokes because it's had, really uh, underwhelming price action. But that doesn't necessarily reflect on its fundamentals, as we know as chartists, as traders that look at and respect charts. Everything has its cycle. What goes up must come down. It's all about where you are in the cycle and trying to take advantage of that, as a trader, as a chartist. So if I'm looking at Litecoin and I see this as an opportunity for a nice trade to the upside, I think, this is quite good because I'm anticipating an extended wave 5, okay? So that's a pretty good, return on investment, given that my wave 3 was truncated, okay? So that's where I'm at with Litecoin. Overall, quite bullish. I believe that we are at a bottom. If I zoom in, I've gotten my volume confirmation right here, okay, in this reversal pattern that started over here, okay. My reversal pattern started there, and I could just go over that really quickly. If I zoom out, I see that I've gotten 5 waves here, and again, these are tricky to count because it's an unusual wave C that ends in an ending diagonal. You typically don't see an ending diagonal in wave C. You typically see ending diagonals in waves 5, okay? But I see, again, 1, 2, 3, just kind of like in Bitcoin. 1, 2, 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. Here it's, this is super tricky. Okay, here it goes 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let me put in wave 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think that wave 3 ends over here. Okay, and I want wave 3 to end over here because wave 3 is already as long as wave 1, and we all know that wave 3 can't be the shortest. So I think wave 3 has to end over here, and this is your wave 4, and then this is your 1, 2, 3 extended wave 5. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. Just generally throughout the market, I'm seeing this ending diagonal spurned by Bitcoin, obviously, and everything kind of followed suit. But what I like about calling this the end of the trend is that, oh shit, wait, hold up. I'm thinking. Yeah, that's it. I think that's correct. Because this is a 1, 2, 3. So like Bitcoin, I think Litecoin also has to put in some sort of reversal pattern. Because it hasn't yet. Because this right here is an initial break of structure, yeah? And it's not yet sort of, here, let's go on a smaller time frame, just check this out. Let's see. Okay, much like Bitcoin, what I would do is I would look at this on a smaller time frame right here. I would try to count 5 waves in this last move here, okay? And what jumps out at my eye is this, okay? Like this. That's clearly 1. Is it? Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Oh, okay. I like it. I like it. Here. So this was your initial break of structure targeting wave 4 of the previous trend, okay? And then you have your B wave. But then where's your pivot? Yeah? You still need a pivot, yeah, I think. And how long did this go for? Let's see. 6 days. Yeah, you may have to put in a little more. I don't know. All I know is that this is a wave 4, so I anticipate another move up, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe one more move up. One more move up before it reaches some sort of resistance, okay? So probably coming up to this point right here. Right there. Playing out that W pattern. So coming up to like 65 or something like that. Yeah. So that's what I'm seeing in Litecoin. In any case, you know, the small time frame analysis aside, I'm really bullish on Litecoin. Really bullish on Litecoin. I know that sounds weird, but you know, everything has its time, and if the fundamentals are intact, then expect even underwhelming price action to perform. Okay, so that was Litecoin. Let me know what you guys think about that. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, sure, JY. I'll have a look at that. But first, let me go through ETH. Okay, so next up, I want to look at Ethereum. Oh, whoops, that's not it. So I know what I said about Ethereum. You know, it looked really bad on the large time frame. And I don't know. Okay, so much like Litecoin, I'm looking at Ethereum and I'm trying to make sense of it, okay? I'm trying to make sense of it. I don't... So, given that I have a full chart of Ethereum trading from, you know, pretty much nothing until now, I feel confident that I can chart it. I should be able to chart it, right? So I did, right? I started putting in my cycle waves, right? From my wave 1, 2. Actually, I should probably, let me redo this. I think that's clearly wave. Okay, 1, 2. I don't know where 3 goes though. Okay, so let's just say for now, three goes here or something. I don't know. Let's just say that. Let's tentatively, okay? Let's be tentative. And I just always try to keep an open mind when I'm counting waves, because you know you don't want to be too stubborn, but you don't want to violate any principles. You don't want to violate any principles, and you want to watch the guidelines. I think this is clear 1, 2, okay? And again, this is a cycle count, so let me change the degree. Okay, here we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my Fibonacci extension tool to help in the third wave projection, wave 3 projection, okay? So I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm getting an extended wave 3, okay? And I like wave 3 ending here because it's at the 2618, right? I would expect a typical extension of wave 3 at 1618, but I got a 2618, and I think that's fine, okay? In Litecoin, I had a kind of a sharp correction, right, for wave 2. I had a WXY here. I probably have maybe something similar. Let's go in the weekly time frame. in any case, it's sharp. I know it's sharp because it's just, it's not. Yeah, it looks like a WXY once more, right? Do you see that? 1, 2, 3. It looks like a sharp, complex correction for wave 2. Okay, so by the law of alternation, it's not 100%, but if I had to put money on it, I would expect some sort of a flat correction, a less sharp correction for wave 4. So I think we're getting into wave 4, and I want to say we're into wave 4 because it looks very... It does not look like a continuation of wave 3 given this break of structure. Okay, so given this break of structure, I want to say it's, without overthinking it, this is clearly a fourth wave correction. And if I take my Fibonacci retracement tool, you'll see, and I'm on log, so all of this is faithfully represented. Okay, you'll see that this correction is coming between the 236 and the 382 Fibonacci retracement. That is quintessential wave 4 activity, okay? So that would indicate that this is an A wave, okay? And if this is an initial break of structure, then this may be a B wave. Two things are possible here, okay? Two things are possible. First, that this is my correction and it's finished. And what I'm getting here, basically after this March of 2020 capitulation, COVID capitulation, is a continuation of the uptrend, of the cycle uptrend. Okay, that would probably mean wave 5, cycle wave 5. Okay, I don't like that. I don't like that because I don't like that for a few reasons, and let's go into that. And I'm doing this with you all because I'm trying to figure this out. I sincerely don't have an opinion. I have an opinion, but I don't have an answer. I don't have a definite answer. Okay. And this is important, okay? And you know that hedge funds and venture capitalist funds and investors, speculators all over the world are trying to figure this chart out. Ethereum is such an important, such a vital and crucial asset, right? It's basically underlying trillions of dollars of DeFi, okay? If it falls to certain levels, you can get mass liquidations, cascading liquidations, completely really throwing off the cryptocurrency market. Okay, so this is, I think Ethereum is one of the most important charts in all of crypto, maybe even more important than Bitcoin. We need to know what it's doing. Okay, I do think this is an initial break of structure. I think it's very likely that this is a wave 4. Now, my question is this a standalone wave 4 or is this part of wave 4? Okay, so my gut tells me that this is part of wave 4 for a few reasons. One, once you put in a wave that completely retraces upon itself, that tells me it's corrective. And I see 1, 2, 3. Every time I see 3 waves or versions or flavors of 3, I'm thinking corrective wave. Also, I keep saying this on this channel, you cannot, every corrective wave, it doesn't matter if it's simple, complex, composed, sharp, flat, whatever, it has to end in an impulse. Okay? And I don't think that this move right here, maybe this flat correction, is a standalone correction for wave 3. Okay, it meets the Fibonacci retracement levels between 236 and 382, so that is met. Okay, But, what comes after doesn't. Greg Neely says something. Greg Neely is the founder of NeoWave. And it's basically advanced Elliott wave. It's his take on Elliott waves. And he has a bunch of rules and guidelines to, in his words, make Elliott wave less subjective and more objective, okay? And one of his things is you can tell the continuation of a trend. You can distinguish either still being in a correction or being in or having a trend continue. So the trend here is the impulse, okay? The impulse is to the upside, okay? And my question here is, are we still in correction? Is this still corrective, or is this a resumption of the impulse? To me, this is not impulsive. And some may say, oh, but Dean, there's such a thing as a truncated wave. But you know, when you're putting in a truncated wave, it's basically, you can't wait, fundamentally speaking, you can't wait for the trend to change. So that would, whether this is a truncated wave 5, we're still super bearish. We're even more bearish if this is a truncated wave 5, but I don't think this is a truncated wave 5. I think this is part of wave 4, part of a flat correction, and I've seen it, okay? And let's use what Robert Prechter calls, sort of time proportionality. So let's look how long it took waves 1 through 3 to form. Okay, that's 896 days. Okay, and so let's look at how long it takes from after wave 3, or my purported wave 3, to now, 1,624 days. Okay, that's already way more than waves 1 through 3. Okay, that's quite literally almost twice as long. Okay, and maybe it makes sense given that you have an extended wave 3. Okay, but all that to say is, it fundamentally makes sense that we're still in wave 4. Because if you just look, in terms of proportionality, waves need to be proportional, right? If wave 3, whether it's extended or not, has taken 819 days, you can't have a wave 4 that takes only 336 days. Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. No wave 4 is such a small part. No wave 4 happens so slowly vis-a-vis a wave 3. Usually wave 4 can take even longer than wave 3. 2 times, 3 times as long. We've seen it multiple times. But one of the things I don't like about this being wave 4, one of the things I don't like about this being wave 4 is that it seems like it took way too long. It seems like it took way too long. Another possibility, which I like the best. Here's what I like the best. I'm going to tell you. This is wave 4 right here. It's a complex correction. This was a sharp complex correction. It's okay to have 2 complex corrections. This is kind of a less sharp complex correction. It's still between 236 and 382. And you're getting, I like this. I'm going to tell you why I like this. Okay, this is the one, if, of all the counts, I would put money on this one. And it just came to me. Okay, I think that this right here is a triple three. Okay, those are also not as common, but you see them. It's a WX, Y, X, and then the COVID crash is your impulse down. That's the end of your complex correction. Okay, let's look at that. That is a plausible correction. Okay, the time it took is plausible. I'm going to delete this. So this complex correction, remember, it took us like 800 and what did I say? 830 days, let's say, for wave 3, cycle wave 3. And this took around 800 days. Do you see that? Boom, that's it. That is it. That's proportionality, my friends. This is how, and this is kind of like how I'm leveling up my stuff. You know, I'm getting better. Time sometimes is very important and helps you when you're counting. It's highly unlikely that wave 3 take 800 something days and then wave 4 takes 1600 days. It's possible, but it's unlikely, okay? It's more likely that wave 3 takes 800 days, wave 4 takes 800 days, or something. They're you know, something similar, okay? So I think that this was your wave 4, and now you continue your impulse up. And this, much like Bitcoin, I love this. I absolutely love this. Much like Bitcoin is extremely bullish because you've put in a part of, so unlike Bitcoin, I don't know if it ended its cycle 3, but I think even Ethereum may not have ended its cycle 3, but it's fine. It looks like it did, just given the analysis and given the retracement, right, for this triple three complex correction. So it's likely that this is, and remember, we got an extended wave 3. So let's just say, for the sake of analysis, that we project wave 5 using our typical extensions. And if wave 3 is extended, wave 5 typically is wave 5 is typically the same proportion as wave 1. If wave 3 is extended, it's rare. It's very rare to get 2 extended waves. It's possible. It's extremely rare. Usually with an extended wave 3, you get a truncated wave 5. Okay? And so if you get a truncated, I'm doing all of this with you guys. I did some of this beforehand, but I'm kind of figuring it out as we speak, and it's making a lot of sense to me. So if wave 3 is extended, you want the same proportion as wave 5, which would give you something like, here, how do I do this? I would probably take the inverse 1618 of wave 4. Yeah, I don't like this. I'm not bullish on ETH for that reason. I wouldn't, so that to me is a likely cycle end for Ethereum for those reasons. However, and guys, let me know what your thoughts are on this. I know this is very wonky. This is for, people who really get into Elliott wave and trading and charting and stuff like that. This is not for your average speculator. I understand this is extremely technical, but this is my wheelhouse. And I think, doing this is very important because you want to make good decisions. Now, I would say I'm not bullish on ETH with that analysis, given an extended wave 3 given a truncated, the likelihood of a truncated wave 5. Yeah. I'm looking, and the one thing that I think is bullish about this is the indicators. Okay, my momentum indicator for the weekly time frame is bottomed out, for the monthly time frame is bottomed out with the double bottom. Okay, so that's bullish to me. That's where my bullishness ends. If I'm just counting waves, this is my count on Ethereum. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the day this was my fifth wave and my targets for ETH were anywhere between the 382 and the 618, right? And that's what I'm seeing. Can we also get an extended wave 5? Absolutely. It's possible. It's not probable, it's possible. Is it also possible that this is not the end of wave 3? Probably. That would make this more bullish. So I'm not married to the fact that this has to be the end of wave 3, right? Which would then make this kind of, extended, So I'm not sure about this count, okay? All I am is I would be I would be more cautious on ETH than I would be on Litecoin, for instance. On Litecoin, the chart, the count says bullish. On ETH, the count, this Elliott wave count is not necessarily bullish, okay? Like, this can very well be some sort of intermediate or primary wave 2 correction, right? So you may be getting a wave 2 correction right here, which is bullish, or this may be some sort of move, A wave, right? This may be some sort of A wave, and you're looking for a B wave. This may be something like this. Right? I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just very cautiously, this is it. I don't know. I don't know what Ethereum's going to do, but I'm going to watch it, and I would be very careful making any large investments in Ethereum without first getting some sort of confirmation as to what's going on. Okay? If we started running in the rest of the market and then Ethereum started to stall, I would be very, 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 very cautious. Because I would not be surprised if this indeed were the beginnings of some sort of cycle correction for Ethereum. Okay, and a cycle correction essentially means that this 5-wave trend was correcting completely. Okay, so that's my take on Ethereum, and this is why I think it's important, because it's such a cornerstone of our market, right? It underlies most of our DeFi, but according to my analysis, you just want to be cautious with Ethereum. Very cautious, very, very cautious. Just, I think in the immediate short term, I think we're going up. I don't think that is too much of a concern, but in the longer term analysis, I don't know. That's the best I can do. I don't know. Yeah. Curious to see what you guys think about that. That's the one, like I said, that's giving me the most trouble, and that's why I had that last. Again, I hope this was helpful. I hope this was useful. I'm not going to be live streaming tomorrow because I have something very important to do. Right before we leave, I'm going to look at DYP for JY. Just have a look at that. I don't even know what it is, but you know, we chart anything and everything. So why not? Let's go into our chart. I just want to have a look. Let's see what's going on here. Nothing much. Okay. DYP. DeFi yield protocol. Yeah, that would definitely take a hit if Ethereum played out to the downside, right? Our entire crypto market would really take a hit. Okay, so DYP, this is looking, again, these are truncated charts, not like Ethereum or Litecoin. There's not that much data, but, you know, we fill in the blanks where we can. This looks very, very clearly like a three-wave move, right? And, you know, every corrective structure goes in three or flavors of three, and it seems to be complete because we got massive volume in this move right here, counter to that three-wave move. Let's see, on the weekly time frame, so great week. Okay, looks like this is a nice impulse, right? This is what it looks like. This looks like an impulse that's just going, and that's really bullish. Basically, since May 9th, this is put in 641%. It's beautiful. Beautiful. This is exactly what I was talking about before, by the way. A zigzag. Do you see that? This is a WXY right here. W, three-wave, intermediate, and then Y. And usually it's a 1-to-1 between W and Y. Look at that. Take your Fibonacci extension tool, and it's almost exactly 1-to-1. You see that? This length, that retracement, that length, 1-to-1. That's the conclusion of your correction. Okay, this is likely just a standalone, just given how long it took, right? If you just look, this took 385 days. So just knowing our market, you know, a correction that took 385 days is a standalone correction. And so this is beautiful. This is not kind of beautiful. This is totally beautiful, because this is what we can expect in a lot of those altcoins that we've invested in, right? Within a week, once they've completed their corrections, which most of them have, I think, you put in that first wave, that second wave. Okay, so let's go even smaller time frame. And thank you, by the way, JY, for sharing this. It's always nice to have input. So this is clearly a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4 situation. You can just confirm it with your fib retracements. Do you see that? Let's see. Actually, this looks like, I'm curious, how long did this take? 25 days. Okay, and I was saying this morning that most of our reversal patterns took 25 to 30 days. This took, I love sometimes doing time analysis. This took 25 days. This is likely, given what we're seeing in the rest of the market, this is likely to be a complete reversal pattern, right? Where you're basically putting in initial break of structure, but here you put in a zigzag, and then you put in a retrace, right? So that's your big A, That's your big B. That's your pivot. That's your big A. What would it be? What would it be? What would it be? It's tough to count on these large time frames. I'm interested in this reversal pattern. I'm going to count the rest of it first, but I'm just interested to see what this is. Okay, here we go. So that looks like your A wave right here, all right, targeting wave 4 of the previous trend. Or is that wave 4 of the previous trend? That doesn't look like wave 4 of the previous trend. Sorry, I'm trying to make sense of this. What the hell is this? Okay, here we go. Got it. Okay, here we go. So it is a zigzag. So that's your A wave. That's your big A of your reversal pattern. You have 3 small waves. That's your big B. And that's what you get in a zigzag. And then you have your pivot A, your pivot B, and that's your impulse. And all of that was 25 days, and that's what, you know, the time it took more or less from our altcoins, most of our altcoins. And you have the same low, right? Remember, May 12th was when we created the low, the absolute low for most altcoins. So this is just a little bit ahead of schedule. Not much different than Vervain. It's just a little ahead, but you see the same kind of reversal pattern. Okay, you get a reversal pattern, a type of reversal pattern, which essentially is a flat correction when it's all said and done. Okay, and then your impulse starts here. Okay, so all of this is your impulse. That's your wave 1. Okay, and it looks like from wave 1 you've gotten a beautiful 618 retracement. It came all the way down here, okay? And this was a WXY, it looks like. Yeah. It looks like a WXY, or is this an ABC? It can be a simple ABC. I think it's a simple ABC, all right? Let's not complicate things. I think this is what you have here. ABC. Okay, you have your simple correction, and here you have your, looks like a leading diagonal. So you're about to break out again, okay? And your next target is quite high, I'm sure, given what you've gotten up until now. This is awesome. This is awesome. You put in huge volume, and you put in 500% in for 8 hours. I'm on the 4-hourly chart. This is the beauty of when trends change. You don't know when it's going to happen, but as long as you're positioned and you have your positions, you can take advantage, and you know, you can ride these waves up. Okay? You don't know when it's going to happen. It's very tough to time. But, you know, more or less, if you're in position, you take advantage of it. In 4 hours, you made 500-600%. You make your retracement, your 618 retracement right here. Then you're back to the races, okay? So that's awesome. I love that. I'm just projecting really quickly. This underlines what we were saying about alt season. This being alt season. I mean, you're going 600% in 8 hours. and Bitcoin had been dumping essentially, right? Or going sideways. So like just, a conservative estimate for the next target is $2.70, right? Because that's your 1618. So that's 1,000% increase, yeah. And who else knows where this is going? But that's a great chart, DeFi yield protocol. And because the market is generally bullish, I would be really surprised that Ethereum, given that it has also been dumping, not like, it's been dumping like everything else, and it's off from all-time high, and all-time high was at almost 5,000, right? Like 4,900. It's down 81% from all-time high. So I'd be shocked and surprised if Ethereum didn't continue to go higher. I would be shocked and surprised, okay? Which would basically mean that my larger count is not accurate, meaning this can't be the end of 3, right? Or 5 is extended. Either 5 is extended, which is less likely, right? Because we have an extended wave 3, or wave 3 is more extended than we thought. But I don't want to say that, because that wave 4 correction is really compelling between the 236 and the 382 of this wave 3. So I want to say maybe likely that wave 5 is extended and wave 3 is extended, which basically means Ethereum is super bullish, and we know it's super bullish because it fundamentally changed, right? It's burning, or whatever it is. Yeah, Ethereum is burning supply. So if anything, it had to have, the 2 extended waves. I'd probably put my money on Ethereum being it. But I'm still cautious here. I'm not going to bet the house or the ranch that this is going to continue to go up. I'd just be shocked that the entire market looks bullish, pretty much the entire market, yet Ethereum would go down. And then last but not least, I like how, for the bullish case, again, on most time frames, the large time frames, you're completely bottomed out on the momentum indicators, okay? My stochastic RSI is what I use for momentum, as you guys know. I don't use that many indicators, but if I go to the monthly, it's bottomed out with a double bottom, okay? If I go to the weekly, it's bottomed out with a bottom, right? If I go to the daily, it's just starting to move up. So for me, it just, if I gun to my head, it's going up, okay? But given the count, I would bet on other assets before I bet on Ethereum, just given the count. That's all I'll say. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Hope this was helpful. Hope this was useful. Is there anybody else? Oh yeah, JY. Yeah, 2.7. Yeah, because that's just the 1618 extension, right? That's what we expect. That's the typical wave 3 extension. It's not like we know, right? It could be a 1 extension, right? It could be a truncated thing, like we saw in Litecoin. But it's likely. We're just playing, the probability. It's likely that we extend to the 1618. But yeah, thanks for showing us that, because a lot of times when you see other assets behave in a certain way, you can basically, you're seeing, it's kind of like looking into the future, where you're seeing a chart pattern, or you're seeing the market move in such a way that other things will move, but they've just not yet reached that part of their market cycle, their market phase. So if I jump to something on my watch list that also looks similar, okay? What looks similar? Dodo looks similar, right? You have essentially a a zigzag right here, yeah? If you, maybe it's over here. Dodo's kind of hard to count. Yeah, Dodo looks like an ending diagonal. Okay, but in any case, you have a downtrend, okay? You have a downtrend. Okay, this looks like an ending diagonal, not a zigzag. But the idea still kind of stands that from, April of 21 until now, you have a sharp drawdown. Okay, DYP, I think it was April 21 that chart was showing. Let's see. Yeah, April of 21 until now. You have basically it. This chart has never shown any kind of uptrend. Okay, it basically since its existence, it's been in a downtrend. Same with Dodo. April of 21 downtrend. Dodo April of 21 downtrend. But for those of us who chart, we're not afraid of making investments in this. I put some decent money in Dodo, not like a ton of money, but some. Because I counted 5 waves. I'm aware of the larger cryptocurrency market. I really liked this reversal pattern right here. Actually, that's what attracted me to Dodo. This reversal pattern right here. And this reversal pattern, so we saw 25 days in DYP. Dodo has taken 37 days, right? And it doesn't mean that, okay, because it took 25 days in one asset, it has to take 25 days in the other. No, we're just comparing. It's comparable, right? So 25 days in one, 27 days in the other, 37 days in the other, rather. Dodo can very much do the same thing that DYP did, okay? And that was target. Where DYP? Sorry, I have to go just to see. So it basically met a major resistance in its intermediate correction. Okay, so basically it retraced probably, I want to say, just eyeballing it, 618 of its Y wave, right? Something like that. Almost exactly. You see that? Damn, I look at charts way too much to know that shit. Okay, yeah, 618 of its previous, of its Y wave, okay? So, if we have something similar in Dodo, then let's just take from this low right here. We can anticipate Dodo come all the way up here, in a matter of hours, right? That would be a 400% increase, right? Just like that. Which is awesome, right? This is why we're into crypto, right? It's dangerous and it's risky, but this is why we learn to chart. We might get some things wrong, but we give ourselves an edge, and we learn. We fine-tune our skills, we hone our skills, and we just have to hit a few times, even if we missed. Sometimes I missed a ton on the bottom for Bitcoin, right? And I didn't even know that we were in an impulse, right? I thought that I was getting bullish over here, right? If you're subscribed to the channel, you'll know I thought that this was the base for continuation. We'd get a pivot, and then we would get an impulse down. I didn't see us having an ending diagonal in wave C. I just don't see ending diagonals in wave C. And ending diagonals are sloppy as hell, so I had trouble reading it, much like most other analysts, right? Some people still can't read it. But that's what we got, and I was wrong, and I went under, but I'm still alive, and my positions are still alive, and, as we can see in DYP, if you stick to it, if you show up every day, if, you're consistent, you're going to be successful. One move, maybe not in Bitcoin, but in some altcoins, one move can put you from being underwater to profitability. And I'm not underwater in all of my positions because I started buying here, but I also bought here and I also bought a bunch here. So, in a lot of positions I'm green. Some of them I'm underwater. But, it's all good because in the grand scheme of things, when you're looking at this next potential uptrend, I won't care where my entries were made once this goes to maturity. And in Bitcoin, that represents the 1.75 million. Okay? In other altcoins, it's a lot higher because they're smaller cap. Yeah? So that's pretty much what I'm seeing. Definitely like the stream. No problem. A lot of altcoins on KuCoin are just randomly pumping 30 to 400%. I love it. I absolutely love it, JY. That's alt season. I love to see it. Meanwhile, dominance is plummeting. And, I wouldn't be surprised if dominance did, like I said, something like this. It came up and then went down. This is where we'll really see all the action. This is when we become Brazilianaires. Once this starts happening, okay? This can't, I just don't like this being an impulse. And again, every corrective wave, every corrective sequence has to end in impulse. This can be an impulse. I don't know what the hell impulse it would be, though. Maybe it's some sort of ending diagonal once again. It's possible. But I don't see it, okay? It's possible. But again, ending diagonals in wave C's, they're very rare. So I'm just playing the probabilities. This is more than likely. So this is a contiguous structure. I almost put money on that. So for me, this is something like this. A W wave, an X wave, and I'm looking at dominance, market cap dominance, by the way. A Y, a 3-wave move. This is probably going to do something like this. X2. Okay. And then Z. So I do anticipate, I would not be surprised if we got X2. So basically Bitcoin does something like this, or Bitcoin dominance does something like this, and then runs up for the Z wave, and then nukes. And then we become Brazilianaires. And I call dibs on, some islands in French Polynesia, okay? You guys stay away. I know you're going to be rich, but I want an island in French Polynesia. Oh, man. So yeah, that's basically what I'm seeing. You're seeing it in dominance. You're seeing it across the market. It's altcoin season. It's definitely altcoin season, and Bitcoin's gonna do its thing, but it's not going to do it at the same rate. And as we saw with JY's example in DYP, even if Bitcoin dumped, on the 12th of May, Bitcoin hit a bottom, but then proceeded to consolidate and make a new bottom, right? In that time, we got a major consolidation and pump in DYP and other altcoins, because altcoin season, that's what happens. It's just Bitcoin's doing the same thing. It's just a step slow, okay? And like I said, I expect for us to put in some consolidation in Bitcoin, 20 to 30 days before it makes its move up. But even though it's the king coin, you can't just break all the rules and go up without consolidating first after making a new low. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing. All right, if there isn't anything else, yeah, island hopping all day. My favorite island hopping place that I've been in. I don't island hop for sport or anything. I'm not that rich, at least not yet. But Hong Kong, island hopping in Hong Kong was amazing because I'd go from island to island, eat amazing seafood, amazing food on the grill, and then just get back in the yacht or the boat, whatever, go to the next island. I love it. I love it. But Hong Kong's much different than it was before. I love China. I love, that part of the world. But Hong Kong these days, under sort of the PRC, is I don't know if I want to visit yet. Anyway, take care, everyone. Been a pleasure. Again, no live stream tomorrow. This was it. I hope your coins run. Hold your positions. I think it's coming. So yeah, that's it for me. Take care. Have a nice evening or day or wherever it is, whatever time it is. And I'll see you tomorrow for the regular update. Let's see.